I've said that universal healthcare would lower costs, increase life expectancy, increase worker productivity, lower the infant mortality rate, and lower the cost of prescription drugs. My opponent has countered that prices will lower because of technological advances, not universal healthcare. Workers will be burdened by high costs, and that only elderly people will benefit. I'd like to point out that my opponent failed to provide any citations either as links or in his speech, meaning there is no way to check the validity of his claims. My opponent has said that prices will be lower because of new technology, not universal health care. Although technology may reduce prices, it is not true today, according to The Balance. Healthcare in the United States costs more than twice as much as it does in Canada. This is despite the fact that there is very little difference between their technology. However, universal healthcare would lower costs further because hospitals will only charge what it costs them to operate. In addition, there would be a large reduction in administrative costs without hospitals having to deal with multiple types of insurance. My opponent has said that the workers would be burdened by high costs. However, universal healthcare would likely be paid for by increasing taxes on the wealthy. Average workers would benefit, and the only people who would be harmed are rich people who will be fine anyways. In addition, universal healthcare will grow the population by 2.9% by lowering the infant mortality rate, according to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, that will spread the costs among more people. My opponent has said that an increased elderly population would be bad because they cost the most money to take care of. Although that is true, it is important to recognize that many things are more important than money. Elderly people worked and funded healthcare for the generation above them, and now the current workers should help them. It would be completely immoral to allow people to die simply because you don't want to pay for them. In addition, workers today would benefit later, as future generations would provide for them. Increased worker productivity would more than make up for the increased costs. Lower prescription drug prices would also give workers more disposable income. In conclusion, universal healthcare would lower costs and increase disposable income for most workers. It would be completely immoral to sacrifice the lives of the elderly to save money. If the government has an obligation to help its citizens, then it most definitely has an obligation to institute universal healthcare. Thank you.